A former social media content creator is heading to trial for murder after he allegedly shot and killed his estranged wife and her friend, who he thought she was cheating on him with. Ali Abulaban, who went by his username Jinnkid, is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of his 28-year-old estranged wife Anna and her friend 29-year-old berating.
Anna was a vibrant and ambitious 28-year-old who appeared to have a bright future ahead of her. Born in Virginia, she was known for her warm smile, sharp wit, and ability to light up any room. Her life would change dramatically when she met Ali Abulaban, a rising social media personality better known as Jinnkid. Famous for his comedic impressions and TikTok skits, Ali was charismatic and ambitious, traits that initially drew Anna in. However, what began as a promising relationship quickly devolved into a chilling tale of control, manipulation, and tragedy. Anna became a frequent presence in Ali's videos, helping him cultivate an audience of nearly 1 million followers. While their online persona presented a picture-perfect marriage, those close to them saw through the facade. Friends described Anna as becoming increasingly isolated, her life increasingly overshadowed by Ali's erratic behavior and obsessive need for dominance. Behind the scenes, Anna bore the weight of a controlling partner who manipulated her social circles and dictated her choices. As Ali's fame grew, his darker tendencies, exacerbated by drug abuse, began to surface. Ali's paranoia and accusations of infidelity escalated over time, creating a volatile environment. Anna, however, showed resilience. Determined to build a better life for herself and their young daughter, she filed a police report against Ali in 2021, detailing his abusive behaviors. Yet, she remained tethered to him, partly out of concern for their child and fears tied to her immigration status. Despite her courage, the system failed to intervene in time to prevent a tragedy. On October 21, 2021, Ali's obsession took a horrifying turn. Using a listening device he had secretly installed on their daughter's iPad, he eavesdropped on Anna conversing with her friend Rayburn Barron in their San Diego apartment. Consumed by rage, he burst into the apartment, armed and ready to confront them. Without hesitation, he fatally shot Rayburn and turned the gun on Anna, ending her life in an instant. Later, he confessed, claiming he had, quote, snapped. But the calculated steps leading up to the crime paint a much more sinister picture. Anna's untimely death left her loved ones grappling with devastating loss and unanswered questions. Could the warning signs have been acted upon sooner? How did Ali, a man with a charming public persona, mask such a sinister reality from the world? And most importantly, what systemic failures left Anna vulnerable to the escalating violence? While Anna's story is a cautionary tale, her legacy endures as a reminder of the hidden struggles faced by countless victims of domestic abuse. Her family and friends remember her as more than a victim. She was a loving mother, a loyal friend, and a woman with dreams extinguished far too soon. Her story underscores the urgent need for better resources and intervention for those seeking freedom from abuse. What could have saved Anna? The answers remain elusive, leaving her story as a haunting challenge to a society still grappling with how to protect its most vulnerable. Will her tragedy inspire change, or will her name become another statistic? Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to Memento Mori Stories. I'm Ella Favela, your guide through the darker corners of the human experience. If you're captivated by the mysteries of life, where coffee fuels your curiosity and tales of true crime send chills down your spine, you've found your place. Whether you're a returning listener or you're just tuning in for the first time, I'm thrilled to have you join us. So find a cozy spot and let's dive into a spine-tingling tale. If you thrive on stories that challenge your perceptions and keep you on edge, make sure to hit that subscribe button and to ring the notification bell. We release new content every 2 weeks, and I'd be honored to have you along for the ride into the shadows. If you're intrigued by what happens behind the scenes of my life, make sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I've always got something exciting happening, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. You'll find all of my social handles on the screen, and they're clickable in the description box below. Before we go any further, we need to discuss what's coming up ahead. Today's episode covers a deeply impactful and sensitive story which may evoke strong emotions in my listeners. Please remember that we don't just tell stories on this channel. These are real-life events which have had profound effect on individuals and their communities. Please be advised, this channel is not intended for minors. This episode includes extremely graphic depictions of violence against women, assault, drug abuse, and the ongoing issue of victim blaming. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Given the intensity of these themes, it is essential to take care of your mental and emotional well-being. We believe in the importance of openly discussing these issues in order to foster understanding and empathy. However, we also recognize the potential for listener distress. If at any point you feel uncomfortable, or if these topics resonate too closely with your own experiences, it is completely fine to take a step back and to skip this episode. Your mental and emotional well-being is our top priority, and it's crucial to honor your own needs and boundaries. As we explore these harrowing stories, remember that the aim of this channel is not to sensationalize pain. Rather, we wish to honor the victims and to shed light on the realities which they endured. We wish to create a space where these difficult conversations can lead to greater awareness and ultimately to change. By understanding the darker aspects of human behavior, we hope to contribute to the broader dialogue on prevention and support for those affected by such violence. If you or somebody that you love is dealing with these issues or is carrying the weight of past trauma, please know that you're not alone. There are resources and support systems available to help you. We've included a list of links and contacts in the description box below, which may offer you some assistance. Whether you seek support from a professional, talk to a trusted confidant, or simply take a break from these heavy topics, there are pathways to your healing. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Let's approach these stories with the compassion and respect which they deserve, and strive to learn from them in ways which promote understanding and healing. Now, without further ado, we unravel the unsettling case of Anna Abulaban. Anna and Ali Abulaban's journey began in 2014, a year which would lay the foundation for their future together, although it would also become the backdrop for the complexities and challenges that would soon follow. At the time, Ali was stationed in Okinawa, Japan, serving in the U.S. Air Force. Though their paths crossed in a way that was commonplace for two young people living in a foreign country, their connection turned out to be anything but ordinary. Anna Marie Martin, originally from the Philippines and later Okinawa, was an ambitious and determined individual. She had always maintained a deep sense of responsibility and resilience, shaped by her upbringing in a multicultural environment. She was no stranger to the idea of sacrifice, having left her home country and lived in different parts of the world, which had ingrained in her a sense of adaptability and an open-minded perspective on life. Ali, born and raised in Staten Island, New York, was well known for his quick wit, natural humor, and talent for mimicry. He found his calling as an entertainer early on, using the Air Force as a stepping stone for greater aspirations. In Okinawa, their paths would cross, and as fate would have it, they formed a strong bond. They quickly realized they had more in common than they initially thought. Both had a sense of adventure and were eager to make the most of their experiences abroad. Their connection was fueled by their shared interests, and soon their friendship evolved into a romantic partnership. Anna was drawn to Ali's charm, sense of humor, and the way that he could make anyone laugh with his impersonations. Ali, in turn, found Anna's kindness, intelligence, and strength captivating. Together, they made a good pair. Ali, the entertainer, and Anna, the supportive, intelligent woman with a clear vision for her future. However, their relationship took an unexpected turn when, in 2016, Ali was discharged from the Air Force. According to some reports, his discharge followed an alleged incident in which he assaulted a friend of Anna's. The details of the situation are murky, but it was a pivotal moment in their relationship. With Ali no longer in the Air Force, both he and Anna had to figure out their next moves. Ali returned to Virginia, and Anna, for her part, went back to the Philippines. For a while, it seemed like their paths may have diverged, but fate had a way of bringing them back together. In 2018, Anna found herself pregnant with Ali's child. The news was a turning point for the couple, and it reignited their commitment to one another. Ali was determined to make sure that Anna and their unborn child would have a future together, so he helped to arrange for Anna to receive a visa to come to the United States. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives as they started a family. They welcomed their daughter, Amira, in 2019, and Ali began to focus more seriously on his career as a content creator. Ali's rise to fame in the digital world was both rapid and undeniable. His TikTok account, Jinnkid, gained thousands of followers as his comedic impersonations and sketches went viral. His content was a blend of humor and pop culture references, often featuring spot-on impressions of characters from movies, television shows, and even internet memes. Figures like Tony Montana from Scarface, rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine, and even characters from the video game Skyrim became regular fixtures in his videos.
Hey, babe. I want you to try to do the 6ix9ine impression.
All right.
Okay, so I'll do it first, all right?
All right.
Yo, like literally, you're mad fucking beautiful, you feel me?
I want you to say,
Y'all know the fucking vibes.
Y'all.
yalla.
Y'all know. Wait, let's try the Scarface one.
Okay. I fucking love you, man. I want you to be the love of my life.
Okay, how do I do the face?
I want you like this, like you smell something nasty.
Ali's videos garnered millions of views, and he quickly became a recognizable name in the world of social media influencers. As Ali's career took off,
Anna was right by his side.
she occasionally appeared in his videos, either behind the camera or in front of it, joining him in comedic sketches or offering her own light-hearted commentary. The fans saw them as the perfect couple. Ali, the charming entertainer, and Anna, his supportive partner. They began to share more of their personal life with their followers, giving the world a glimpse into their relationship and their growing family. By 2021, the couple had moved to San Diego in search of new opportunity. Anna had a strong network of friends there, and she convinced Ali that the move would be good for them. California, after all, was the epicenter of entertainment and digital content creation, and Ali's fans and followers were excited to see the couple's next move. The move to California also marked a new chapter for Anna. While she had already been supporting Ali's career, she too had begun to garner attention on social media. She was charismatic and beautiful, and her natural grace and charm helped her build a following of her own. Anna had always been active on Instagram, but it wasn't until their move to San Diego that her presence online really began to grow. Soon, Anna became an influencer in her own right, sharing glimpses of her life as a mother, a wife, and a woman with a passion for design and travel.
I've never met anyone else like you. And I don't think I ever will. I'm not saying that because it's cliche. I'm saying that because no one's ever moved me the way that you do.
For a while, it seemed like everything was falling into place for Anna and Ali. They had a beautiful daughter, a growing online presence, and a future that looked bright. As Ali's fame grew, they continued to share snippets of their personal lives, portraying the image of a perfect family. Anna and Ali appeared to have it all: success, love, and a shared ambition to make their dreams a reality. Fans of Ali's social media content admired their relationship, frequently commenting on how perfect the couple seemed together. Their posts and videos showed them enjoying family outings, spending time at home, and even traveling together, solidifying their image as a happy, well-adjusted couple. The couple's life in San Diego was filled with moments of happiness, adventure, and growth. Anna and Ali thrived in California. They enjoyed spending time with their friends, attending events, and building a life that was a blend of work and play. Their supporters saw them as a power couple in the making, a dynamic duo that embodied the American dream, a couple that worked hard to achieve their goals while never losing sight of what mattered most: family.
Prosecutors say on the morning of the shooting, Abulaban returned to the apartment he and Anna once shared and vandalized the unit. He's also accused of installing an app on their 5-year-old daughter's iPad that allowed him to monitor live audio. While listening to the app later that day, Abulaban overheard his wife and Rayburn Barron, a man he suspected she had been seen, talking and laughing. That's when police say he drove to the complex and opened fire on the victims as they sat on a couch. A neighbor's Nest camera captured audio of the shooting. Abulaban's defense doesn't deny he committed the killings, but argue he wasn't thinking rationally due to the collapse of his marriage and the effect it had on his mental health. A lot more was presented in court today, including a picture Abulaban took of the victims after they were shot,
as well as audio of the attack.
The semblance of peace was short-lived. On the morning of October 25, 2021, after dropping off Amira at school, Anna returned to the apartment she had once shared with Ali, only to discover it in disarray. Ali had used a copy of an electronic key to gain access to the home and had vandalized it. Destruction and chaos were left in his wake, an all too familiar consequence of the volatile relationship they had shared. This act of retaliation was a clear sign that he was not prepared to let go, and that he was willing to go to extreme lengths to exert control. In addition to the physical damage to the apartment, Ali took another disturbing step. He installed an app on Amira's iPad that allowed him to listen in on conversations. This app, which gave him access to their private lives, was a stark violation of trust, further highlighting Ali's obsessive behaviors and need to control every aspect of Anna's life, even after they had broken up. When Anna returned home and discovered the mess, she immediately called a friend to express her distress. On the phone, she explained the situation, revealing that Ali was likely the one who caused the damage. She told her friend that she needed to clean up the apartment, not only to restore some order to the chaos, but to prevent their daughter from becoming confused or scared. Anna also confided in her friend that she was planning to get a restraining order against Ali, a decision that had reflected both her fear of him and her determination to protect herself and her daughter from further harm. Recognizing that Anna needed help, her friend agreed to pick up Amira from school, allowing Anna the time she needed to clean up and attempt to reclaim her home. But Anna knew she couldn't do this alone. She then called another friend, Rayburn Barron, to come over and to help with the cleanup. Rayburn was someone that Anna trusted, and their friendship was an important source of support during this tumultuous period. However, his presence would only serve to escalate an already tense situation. Ali had long been jealous of Rayburn, believing that he posed a threat to his relationship with Anna. This animosity had been fueled by a comment that Rayburn had allegedly made in the past, in which he suggested that Ali was lucky to have a wife as beautiful as Anna. In Ali's mind, this comment, whether intended as a compliment or not, became another reason to see Rayburn as an adversary. As a result, when Ali heard his voice in the apartment, his jealousy and rage triggered a dangerous response. Ali rushed back to the apartment, furious and determined to confront anyone who might be getting too close to Anna. Ali's arrival was not just an emotional reaction. It was the culmination of months of possessiveness, manipulation, and control. The tension between Ali and Anna had finally reached a boiling point, and his actions that day would set the stage for violent ends. This moment marked a turning point in a relationship that had already spiraled far out of control. Ali's attempts to reassert dominance over Anna, combined with his growing jealousy and bizarre behaviors, would soon have a devastating consequence for everyone involved. Surveillance footage from the morning of October 25, 2021, captured Ali's movements as he arrived at the building and entered the elevator, silently making his way to the 35th floor. His actions were methodical, a man set on a violent course. As he made his way into the apartment, he was greeted by the sounds of violence, gunshots, and a scream, captured on a neighboring building's security camera. Ali entered the apartment, found Anna and Rayburn, and in a fit of rage, opened fire. Ali shot Rayburn 3 times, killing him instantly. He then turned the weapon on Anna, shooting her fatally in the head. The brutal nature of these killings shocked the community and left those who knew the couple struggling to comprehend the horror of what had just unfolded. For the victims, it was the culmination of months of tension, but for the authorities and for the public, it was a senseless act of violence driven by jealousy. In the aftermath of the murders, police suspected that Ali may have made an anonymous 911 call, possibly to divert attention from himself or to be able to play the role of an innocent bystander. The call, however, did not obscure the mounting evidence against him. Authorities soon pieced together the events, and they had no doubt about Ali's role in the deaths of his wife and her friend. After the killings, Ali was seen leaving the apartment building where he had shot both victims. Surveillance footage captured him moving through the building and then driving away. He later picked up their 5-year-old daughter, Amira, from school, acting seemingly calm. Authorities tracked him to eastbound State Route 94 and later stopped him on the northbound Interstate 15 at Interstate 805, where he was detained for questioning. Following his arrest, Ali Abulaban was booked into jail on charges of first-degree murder for the deaths of his wife, Anna, and her friend, Rayburn Barron. Despite the horrifying nature of the crime, Ali entered a not guilty plea in court on October 25, 2021. His daughter, who had been with him when he was arrested, was placed into the care of family members. He was held without bail, and a jury trial was scheduled.
Ali's mom, Dalal Wara, taking the stand and immediately breaking down when she sees her son in court. She first testified about Ali's childhood, saying he had an abusive father, was diagnosed with ADHD, but had other undiagnosed mental health issues. His mom claiming Anna and Ali were violent to one another late in their marriage.
I know you're trying to protect your son, but I need you to be truthful with answering my questions.
I'm being very truthful.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Did the defendant tell you that he has punched and hit Anna on a number of occasions?
Not punched. Hit, yes, but not punched.
So he has told you he has hit Anna on a number of occasions?
Yes, but she's also has hit him too.
The trial of Ali Abulaban would unfold with key testimony shedding light on his background, mental health issues, and the events leading to the tragic shootings. During day 9 of the trial, emotional moments and stark revelations were shared in the courtroom, notably involving Ali's mother, Dalal Wara, who provided insight into Ali's abusive upbringing, his troubled relationship with Anna, and his state of mind on the day of the murders. When Ali's mother took the stand, she offered a glimpse into her son's early years. Ali was born in 1992 on Staten Island and was described as a hyperactive and talented child. Dalal explained that she was a teenager when she gave birth to Ali, and she faced immense challenges in her marriage to his father. She recalled that the relationship with her husband was abusive, physically and verbally, and she stated that Ali witnessed much of this violence, which undoubtedly had a lasting impact on him. Dalal noted that her son had always been quick-tempered, with mood swings and anger issues emerging in his teenage years. She cited a particularly violent incident when Ali's father struck him with a guitar after an argument. Dalal said that she feared her husband's violent outbursts and was unable to shield her son from the chaos of their home. She also discussed Ali's academic and social struggles. Despite all his talents, Ali often got into trouble at school, struggling to focus, and he was eventually diagnosed with ADHD. She also mentioned that Ali had a difficult time in high school, frequently skipping classes, and ultimately graduating from an alternative high school. After a brief stint in college, he enlisted in the military, a decision Dalal hoped would help him gain discipline. However, she confirmed that Ali was later discharged after a domestic violence incident, although she remained unclear about the specifics. When asked about the relationship between Ali and Anna, her testimony revealed a complex picture. Their marriage had been rocky for years, and although Dalal claimed to have heard occasional arguments between them, she didn't think it was anything out of the ordinary for a married couple. She recalled that when Ali and Anna lived in Virginia, she often heard them fight, but it wasn't something that had raised any red flags for her. Despite this, she did acknowledge that her son had struggled with drug use, including his increasing dependence on cocaine, which had likely contributed to the downward spiral of his relationship with Anna. Dalal also shared that she tried to convince Anna not to seek a restraining order against Ali, fearing that it would negatively affect his career. This, in hindsight, seems to have been a contributing factor to the toxic dynamics. Dalal also described a visit to San Diego, where she witnessed an explosive argument between Ali and his father, which ended their attempts at reconciliation. By then, she was well aware that Anna and Ali's marriage was on the verge of collapse, and she also knew that her son was struggling with both his mental health and his addictions. Perhaps the most harrowing testimony was regarding a phone call Dalal received from Ali on October 21, 2021, just days before the murders. He confessed to his mother that he had shot and killed Anna, and initially, she did not believe him. She rushed to San Diego to check on her granddaughter, and was devastated when she arrived at the police station and learned the truth. She also recalled a detective telling her that it had appeared Anna had pushed Ali, quote, to the brink, suggesting that there may have been a precipitating event that had triggered her son's violence. She was deeply affected by the news, and it became clear that she was struggling to reconcile her son's actions with the person she had hoped he would one day become. Dr. Francesca Lehman, a clinical and forensic psychologist, was also called to testify. She had evaluated Ali and spoke about his mental health history, including claims of a verbally and physically abusive upbringing. Ali had reportedly told Dr. Lehman that his father had often belittled him, calling him a, quote, disappointment, and blaming him for not living up to his father's expectations. According to Ali, his father's severe temper made life at home a constant source of fear, and these experiences likely contributed to Ali's social anxiety and anger issues as an adult. Dr. Lehman noted that his claim of being abused with an extension cord, as well as witnessing his father throw objects at his mother, painted a picture of a deeply troubled upbringing. Despite these revelations, Dr. Lehman also acknowledged that she had been unable to reach Ali's father for further information, which left some questions unanswered about his upbringing. Nevertheless, the testimony provided important context for understanding his struggles with anger, addiction, and deteriorating mental health. Testimonies from Ali's friends and colleagues added further depth to the case. Konstantin Sarakanis, a friend of Ali's since 2018, spoke about a time he had spent with Ali and Anna before the murders. Sarakanis recalled a specific incident during Ali's birthday when Anna became agitated and their relationship appeared to visibly be on the rocks. He also described how Ali had confided in him after a violent altercation with Anna in September 2021, during which Ali claimed to have, quote, blacked out due to his mental health and cocaine use. Sarakanis advised his friend to distance himself from Anna in order to regain control of his addiction. This advice, however, seemed to go unheeded. Clifford Gonier, Ali's former manager, also took the stand and described Ali's behavior at work. He confirmed that Ali had begun to show erratic behavior in the months leading up to the murders, including frequent absences from work and declining job performance. Gonier mentioned that Ali had requested short-term disability leave in July 2021 and had a pattern of not showing up for work after returning from leave. The final straw came when Gonier threatened to report Ali's attendance issues, which ultimately led to Ali's termination. Throughout the trial, his testimony painted a complicated portrait of Ali Abulaban, a man who had experienced significant trauma in his childhood, struggled with addiction, and seemed unable to manage his jealous rage in his relationship. While his mother and his friends expressed concern for his well-being, it became increasingly clear that these issues did not excuse the brutal murders of Anna and of Rayburn Barron. As the trial continued, the court was tasked with determining the extent to which Ali's troubled past, mental health struggles, and substance abuse issues played a role in the violence which unfolded on October 25th, 2021. The jury deliberations in the double murder trial concluded after just over a day. First-degree murder, as defined in the case, required proof of malice, forethought, and premeditation. While Ali admitted to the killings, the defense attempted to mitigate the charges by presenting the possibility of a heat of passion killing, which would reduce the charges to voluntary manslaughter. Throughout the trial, Ali's emotional outbursts during his testimony were noted, with some legal experts suggesting that his behavior may have revealed a deeper anger or aggression towards women, which might have ultimately influenced the jury's perception of his intent. In the trial, Ali's background was also a focal point. His tumultuous upbringing and his struggles with anger, fueled in part by a history of family abuse, were presented as contributing factors for his emotional state at the time of the crime. However, the jury ultimately rejected the defense's plea for a lesser charge, finding Ali Abulaban guilty of first-degree murder for both victims. The verdict came after nearly a month of proceedings, which included testimony from Ali himself, and still, the jury took just over a day to deliberate. The prosecution tried to emphasize the cold-blooded nature of his killings, while the defense highlighted his mental state, aiming and failing to reduce his culpability. On September 6, 2024, Ali Abulaban was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. At the sentencing hearing, tensions were high. The proceedings were momentarily disrupted when a loud outburst was heard early in the hearing. Someone in the courtroom yelled an expletive, forcing Judge Jeffrey Fraser to pause and address the disruption. Ali, sitting in the courtroom, denied being the source of the commotion. Afterward, the judge handed down the sentence, and the entire gallery responded with cheers and applause. Family members of the victims, particularly Anna's sister, were visibly emotional. Anna's sister, during her victim impact statement, addressed Ali directly. Quote, "If I had known what my sister had been through, I would have flown again to see her and done my best to take her away from you," she said, as the pain of losing her sister was palpable. Judge Fraser, in his remarks, addressed the grieving families of the victims, acknowledging that while the sentence could never bring back their loved ones, it was society's only way of punishing the defendant. Quote, "The sentence today does not reflect your love for them or their value as human beings. It's society's only way to punish people who have done wrong, but it cannot restore their lives. His sentiment reflected the somber nature of the moment, recognizing that no punishment can undo the trauma that families of victims of such violence endure. During the sentencing hearing, Ali Abulaban addressed the court, reading a statement prepared beforehand. His tone was one of deep remorse as he apologized multiple times for his actions. He expressed regret for the pain he had caused, particularly to their daughter, Amira. Ali tearfully apologized to his daughter, saying, quote, "I am so incredibly sorry to each and every one of you who has been affected by this. I cannot imagine the pain I have caused. I see the pain and the tears in each of your eyes, and I hate that I'm the reason for it. I'm sorry for what my foolish actions have cost, for what's been taken from you." Despite his attempt to show contrition, it came off as lacking in genuine remorse, particularly when you consider the brutal nature of the crime and the months of manipulation that had preceded it. Ali also maintained that his actions were impulsive, driven by severe mental illness and his addiction to cocaine. He argued that the murders were a crime of passion after discovering that his estranged wife, in his eyes, had been having an affair with Rayburn Barron. He described the murders as a, quote, "unintended, impulsive reaction," claiming that these actions were not premeditated. Despite the overwhelming evidence that suggested otherwise, Ali questioned the verdict, noting that the jury deliberated for only a brief period. His defense team continued to argue that he had acted in the heat of the moment, a claim that was ultimately rejected by a jury of his peers in favor of a conviction. Ali's defense also tried to focus on his mental health, emphasizing that he had a history of untreated psychiatric conditions. However, Judge Fraser was unsympathetic to this argument, instead describing Ali as a, quote, "very talented actor," who had very carefully orchestrated his behavior in order to evoke sympathy. Quote, "He committed a cold-blooded killing without remorse," according to Judge Fraser, adding that Ali had only cried in court because he feared the consequences of his actions, not because he was genuinely sorry for any pain he had caused. Along with the 2 life sentences, which were to be served concurrently, Ali also received an additional 50 years to life for the gun enhancements associated with the murders. This additional sentence reflected the severity of his crime, particularly considering his use of a firearm in the killings. The sentencing hearing also revealed that Ali had continued to post on social media even while incarcerated. At a prior court session, it was disclosed that Ali had been active on platforms like Instagram while awaiting trial. His defense team argued that his posts were part of his attempt to maintain some semblance of control over his life. However, for most people, his online activity seemed to demonstrate a lack of remorse or even basic understanding for the gravity of his actions. Despite his emotional outbursts and his tearful apologies, the sentence handed down to Ali was final, and he was sent to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Judge Fraser made it clear that there would be no opportunity for parole, emphasizing that Ali's crime was premeditated, not one driven by temporary passion or mental illness. This sentence is a stark reminder of the irreversible consequences of his actions, and it brought a sense of closure, though no true justice, to the families who had lost loved ones in such a horrific way. The case of Ali Abulaban and the murders of his wife, Anna, and her friend, Rayburn, shed light on several critical issues related to domestic violence, mental illness, and the dangerous intersection between controlling behavior and healthy relationship dynamics. The key takeaways from this case not only highlight the extreme consequences of abuse, but also illustrate the warning signs and systemic failures that can and do contribute to such violence. The relationship between Anna and Ali was marked by significant emotional and psychological abuse long before the fatal incident. Anna, who had been trying to leave her marriage and start a new life, was subjected to intense control and manipulation. Ali's jealousy and possessiveness, which are hallmarks of an abusive partner, drove his actions and ultimately led to the deaths of both Anna and Rayburn. His behavior escalated over time, with the violence becoming more overt, and yet, Anna, like many victims of domestic abuse, struggled to escape his grasp due to fear and emotional manipulation. She had been seeking a way out, but this case underscores the difficulty victims face when they try to break free, especially when the abuser is as controlling and volatile as Ali was. Anna's situation also highlights the broader issue of coercive control. Coercive control is a form of abuse which is difficult to recognize, but often has deadly consequences. It involves a pattern of behavior used to dominate and control a partner, often through threats, intimidation, and surveillance. Ali's actions, including spying on Anna, fit this pattern. He tried to keep her isolated, emotionally and physically, even as she tried to leave their marriage. Throughout the trial, Ali's defense team emphasized his mental health issues, including a history of ADHD, mood swings, and an addiction to cocaine. He argued that his actions were a result of untreated mental illness and impulsive reactions fueled by emotional distress. However, the jury would ultimately reject this claim. While mental illness can sometimes contribute to violent behavior, the case of Ali Abulaban underscores the importance of distinguishing between mental illness and intentional violence. Ali's history of controlling and violent behavior suggested a pattern of abuse which had been developing for years, rather than a spontaneous act caused solely by mental illness. Mental health issues should never be used as an excuse to justify violence, especially when the individual is capable of planning and executing such brutal actions. The fact that Ali had not received proper treatment for his mental health or addiction points to a failure in addressing his needs. It is essential for individuals struggling with substance abuse and mental health challenges to receive adequate support and care. In this case, Ali's untreated conditions, combined with his penchant for violent behavior, escalated into a fatal confrontation. Jinnkid, who had a significant following on TikTok, used social media both as a platform for his online persona and as a tool for surveillance. He did install an app on his wife's phone to monitor her conversations, including listening in on her interactions with Barron. Additionally, he installed an app on Amira's iPad to further this surveillance. This type of digital abuse is increasingly prevalent in modern relationships. Abusers use technology to maintain control over their victims, keeping them under constant surveillance and manipulating their sense of privacy and autonomy. While Jinnkid's social media presence was perceived as harmless and entertaining to his followers, in the context of his relationship, it became a tool of abusive control over Anna. This case serves as a stark reminder that digital abuse is a significant aspect of modern-day domestic violence that must be addressed and prevented. Anna's attempts to seek help were thwarted by several factors. One of the most glaring issues was the lack of intervention from family and friends who recognized the signs of abuse early on in the relationship. Anna's mother, however, was not fully aware of the extent of the abuse that her daughter was enduring. Despite efforts to intervene, the patterns of coercive control and manipulation went largely unnoticed by those outside the relationship. Going further back in the relationship, when Ali was still part of the Air Force, his job granted him security clearance, which placed him in a position of authority. Couple that with the fact that he held it over Anna's head that he was the reason she was in the United States. From the very beginning, Anna had struggled to seek help or even discuss the abuse. This highlights the need for better awareness and training for those in close proximity to individuals in abusive relationships, including family members, friends, co-workers, and healthcare professionals. This case also underscores a major gap in how the legal system addresses domestic violence. Despite Ali's violent outbursts, including a past incident of domestic violence, and the apparent signs of his toxic behavior, there was never any significant intervention or restraining order placed against him before the killings occurred. This case raises critical questions about how law enforcement and the legal system handle reports of domestic violence, particularly when there's a pattern established, and especially when no immediate action is taken. Stricter enforcement of restraining orders, more proactive law enforcement approaches, and a better understanding of the psychology behind coercive control could have potentially prevented this tragedy. The murders of Anna and Rayburn are a tragic reminder of the deadly consequences of domestic abuse. This case highlights the importance of recognizing the signs of abuse, understanding the complexities of abusive relationships, and ensuring that victims have access to the support that they need. Moreover, it emphasizes the need for better mental health care, the dangers of digital abuse, and the importance of strengthening legal and social protections for those at risk. This case, like many others, serves as a wake-up call to address the systemic failures which allow domestic violence to persist unchecked. Anna's story is a reminder of the importance of supporting those in abusive relationships and ensuring that they have the resources to escape safely. It highlights the need for broader societal awareness about the complexities of coercive control and the often hidden patterns of abuse. Her legacy, although marked by immense pain, also speaks to the resilience many victims of domestic violence exhibit in their efforts to protect themselves and their loved ones. Anna's family, friends, and community now mourn her loss while striving to honor her memory, emphasizing the need to continue fighting against domestic violence and advocating for the safety of others enduring similar struggles. Her name was Anna, and this is her story. It is my honor and distinct privilege to place her directly where she belongs in this narrative, right in the center of it, never to be forgotten. If you or someone you love is facing domestic abuse, please know that you are not alone and that there is help available. Your safety and well-being are of the utmost importance. Remember that you deserve to live without fear and violence, and know that there are people who care about your well-being and who wish to support you. You have the right to seek help and to pursue a life free from abuse. In the description box of this video, we have compiled a range of resources and helpful links. I personally found these useful when leaving my own abuser, and I encourage you to explore them. You are capable of overcoming this, and I believe in you wholeheartedly. As we conclude this chapter, let us carry forward the lessons learned and continue to fight against domestic violence in all of its forms. Together, we can work towards creating a world where everyone feels safe, valued, and empowered to live without fear. The painting I have been working on today is called Condemnant Quo Non Intelligent. They condemn that which they do not understand. And it's a Christmas gift for my bestie. As of the time of recording this voiceover, December 12th, 2024, I've completed the painting, which is a first, and it took me a total of 58 hours. It is 9 by 12 inches, and it's composed of watercolor and gouache paint, Posca pen, India ink, and silver leaf on 300 GSM 140-pound cold-pressed block. This piece is not available for sale, but many of my original works are. My books are also currently open to custom commissioned work, so make sure you hit me up for your own piece. Additionally, I'm still taking pre-orders for my next print drop, so please visit my Instagram @MementoMoriArt and see the pinned posts for more details on the next 19 images that will be available for prints in the new year, as well as to reserve yours at the discounted pre-order pricing. I ship for free across Canada, but I'm happy to ship globally for a nominal fee as well. If any of that sounds interesting to you, please send an email to hello@stageleftproject.ca. If you believe in the power of conversation, in dismantling the silence that shrouds domestic abuse, and in fostering empathy, then we invite you to be a part of the Memento Mori Stories community. Subscribe to our channel to stay engaged with thought-provoking stories, discussions, and creative expressions. Together, we can be a force for awareness, understanding, and healing. Your subscription is not just a click. It's a pledge to be a part of a movement that embraces the power of storytelling to bring about positive change. Remember, every voice matters, and yours can be a catalyst for good. Subscribe, share, and let's continue this journey together. Remember, one day you will die. But for now, live well. Ciao for now.